Are you ready for absolute madness at Wimbledon? Because what Alex Eala just did has sent shockwaves through the entire tennis world. And trust me, nobody, absolutely nobody, saw this coming. The young Pinay tennis sensation didn't just win, she completely dismantled the defending champion Iga Swiatek in a historic upset that people will be talking about for decades. The internet is literally melting down right now. Fans from Manila to New York are losing their minds, and the sports headlines are struggling to keep up with the sheer magnitude of what this 19-year-old powerhouse just accomplished on the grass courts. She just proved to the entire world that she isn't just a rising star anymore. She is officially a giant slayer, making history as the first ever Filipino to storm into the second week of Wimbledon singles. But hold on to your seats, because the fairy tale run isn't stopping here, and the next challenge is going to be an absolute blockbuster war. Alex Eala is locked, loaded, and officially scheduled to clash against the lethal Italian superstar Jasmine Paolini in a high-stakes round of 16 showdown that is already driving analysts crazy. Paolini is fast, she is incredibly experienced on the big stage, and she knows exactly how dangerous Eala is right now, which means she is going to bring absolute fire to the court. The tennis world is completely divided on this one, with everyone asking the exact same question. Can Alex Eala keep this unbelievable momentum alive and pull off another massive shocker to enter the quarterfinals? Or will Paolini put an end to this historic dream run? Looking at the way Eala is striking the ball with absolute fearlessness and crushing her forehands down the line, Paolini should be very, very worried because a highly motivated, unstoppable Alex Eala is the most dangerous player in the tournament right now. To truly understand the gravity of what is about to happen in this upcoming blockbuster match against Jasmine Paolini, we have to rewind the tape and look closely at the sheer, unadulterated madness that took place on center court just hours ago. When Alex Eala walked out onto that pristine grass, nobody in the stadium, nobody in the commentary box, and certainly nobody watching at home expected a routine demolition of the tournament's absolute favorite. Iga Swiatek was riding a wave of sheer dominance, looking completely untouchable, carrying the weight of multiple Grand Slam titles and the tactical precision of a seasoned world champion. But Alex Eala did not care about the trophies, she did not care about the rankings, and she certainly did not care about the betting odds that heavily favored her opponent. From the very first serve, Eala came out swinging with an intensity that looked almost terrifying. Her ground strokes weren't just deep, they were hit with a venomous pace that forced Swiatek onto her back foot, completely disrupting the rhythm that the world number 3 usually dictates so effortlessly. The first set was a display of pure tactical genius mixed with raw, unbridled emotion. Every single time Swiatek tried to build momentum, Eala answered with a cross-court forehand winner that left the defending champion completely frozen in her tracks. The crowd was hushed at first, unable to process the reality unfolding before their eyes, but as the games rolled on and Eala secured break after break, the energy shifted into a roar of pure excitement. You could see the frustration building on Swiatek's face, the frantic glances toward her coaching box, the sudden unforced errors that she rarely ever makes. Eala was inside her head, playing with a level of maturity and strategic patience that seemed far beyond her years. When she wrapped up that historic match point, dropping to her knees in pure disbelief as the stadium erupted, it wasn't just a victory for her personal career. It was a defining milestone for Philippine sports, proving that a homegrown athlete can stand on the grandest stage in tennis and take down the biggest giants in the world. Now, the entire sporting world is desperately trying to figure out if this is just a beautiful fluke or the arrival of a new dominant era. If you look at the social media metrics, the video clips, and the global search trends over the last 12 hours, the name Alex Eala is absolutely exploding. Tennis fans who had never deeply followed her journey are now scrambling to find out everything they can about her training, her play style, and most importantly, how she plans to back up this monumental victory in her next round. Because in the brutal world of professional Grand Slam tennis, there is absolutely no time to celebrate. No time to sit back and admire your trophies, and definitely no time to breathe. The draw waits for nobody, and the schedule has paired her up against one of the most tenacious, relentless, and tactically brilliant competitors on the entire WTA Tour. Jasmine Paolini is waiting in the wings, and she has been watching every single move Eala made on that court. Jasmine Paolini enters this match not just as an opponent, but as an incredibly dangerous roadblock who specializes in shutting down fairytale stories. The Italian star is known across the tour for her insane court coverage, her ability to track down balls that seem completely out of reach, and a mental toughness that allows her to thrive when the crowd is pulling for the underdog. Paolini doesn't get rattled easily. She plays with a grinding, high-energy style that wears opponents down physically and emotionally. She knows that all the pressure, all the media attention, and all the hype is currently riding squarely on Alex Eala's shoulders. Paolini is going to use that to her advantage, aiming to extend the rallies, force Eala into long, grueling baseline exchanges, and test whether the young Filipina has truly recovered from the massive physical and emotional toll of defeating Swiatek. It is going to be a classic clash of styles. Eala's aggressive, heavy-hitting, risk-taking power tennis versus Paolini's lightning-fast counterpunching and veteran courtcraft. This brings us to the ultimate strategic crossroads of this match, and exactly what Alex Eala needs to do to survive this upcoming tactical battlefield. If Eala walks onto the court thinking she can simply coast on the high of her previous win, Paolini will punish her immediately. The key for Eala is going to be her first serve percentage and her aggressive return of serve. Against Swiatek, Eala won a staggering percentage of points on her first serve, which completely protected her from facing continuous break points. Against Paolini, she must maintain that identical level of precision. She cannot afford to give the Italian easy look-ins on second serves, because Paolini loves to step inside the baseline and dictate play with her heavy forehand inside out. Furthermore, Eala's emotional management will be tested like never before. The high of beating a world number 1 or defending champion often leads to a natural emotional drop-off in the very next round, a phenomenon that sports psychologists call the giant killer hangover. Eala has to wipe the slate completely clean, forget about the Swiatek match entirely, and treat Paolini with the exact same level of respect and lethal focus. On the other side of the net, Jasmine Paolini's game plan is going to be incredibly predictable, yet notoriously difficult to stop. She is going to target Eala's backhand wing, testing if the consistency holds up under extreme pressure. Paolini will also likely look to utilize drop shots and slice variations to alter the height of the ball, trying to pull Eala out of her comfort zone near the baseline and force her to move forward to the net. Grass court movement is an art form, and while Eala looked spectacular in her last outing, Paolini possesses a natural low center of gravity that makes her incredibly stable on this slippery surface. If Paolini can drag this match into a deep, agonizing third set, the physical advantage might begin to tilt toward the Italian veteran. This means Eala needs to strike early, strike hard, and try to break Paolini's resolve in a dominant opening set, just like she did against Swiatek. The stakes could not possibly be higher for both athletes. But for Alex Eala, a victory here moves her from a sensational headline story into the realm of true tournament contenders. A spot in the Wimbledon Quarterfinals is something that very few players ever achieve in their lifetimes, let alone at such a young age. Back home in the Philippines, the excitement has reached a fever pitch that is genuinely hard to describe. Viewing parties are being organized, social media feeds are completely saturated with her highlights, and the entire nation is prepared to wake up at any hour of the night to watch her step onto the court. The support is massive, but with that support comes an undeniable weight of expectation. Every single shot she hits will be cheered by millions, and every error will cause a collective gasp across the globe. It takes a special kind of athlete to channel that massive national energy into fuel rather than letting it turn into suffocating pressure. But if her recent performances are any indication, Eala thrives under the brightest spotlights. As we look toward the match timings, the weather conditions, and the tactical matchups, everything points toward an absolute classic that will likely be decided by just a few crucial points in the business end of each set. Will the sheer power, momentum, and baseline aggression of Alex Eala be enough to blast through the ironclad defense of Jasmine Paolini? Or will the Italians' experience, tactical patience, and counter-punching mastery put a heartbreaking end to this magical Wimbledon run? No matter what the final scoreline says, one thing is completely guaranteed. This match is going to be an absolute thriller filled with high-intensity drama,